live without it, but maybe we could wait. All right, welcome everybody on the show into a live show. This doesn't happen a lot. So usually it is somebody on the other side of the screen. So we're going to try to do the awkward look at the camera, look at each other and but it's going to be a fun chat. I'm so excited to have you, Canberk, visiting us at our office to have a chat on LinkedIn Live. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you so much for having me, Laura.
It is so much fun. I don't have a lot of guests coming over to Dream Data office to have a live. You're the first one, so that's going to be very special. Oh, this camera is playing games with it. Now I can talk like this. I think I'm going to switch to my computer camera. It was very smart till it stopped working.
Interesting.
I'm sorry for this. So we're going to do this from my computer camera. All right. So everybody on live, let us know where you are tuning in from and just say hi. So we at least know that this is actually live and people can see us. That would be great. And during the show as well, feel free to ask questions. We're going to talk about LinkedIn, brand, marketing in general, sales, not trusting marketing at all. It's like, I'm in sales, huh? So then deliver the good leads for us and a lot of other things. So how is New York, Canberk, to start with?
It's such a good city.
Uh-huh.
Like being here really makes me feel nice. And yeah, like I love London, but New York has that vibe, it has this vibe that you always need to be hustling, which I like. And the other thing I'm realizing with New York is that nobody's from here and nobody wants to stay here. It's just like that middle place that everyone is here to do a good work and then leave. So it is such a interesting place that strangers meet and then strangers leave.
That's very interesting. Yeah. Or strangers get stuck.
I hope it won't be me.
Because that's what I often hear as well, that it's such an amazing city. And I see that all the time. Everybody is hustling in their own way. It's like, if you see all the Instagram videos and pictures and think, oh, New York is amazing, but it's not easy. It's very hard.
Yeah, like if you have money, it's easier. But if you don't have the money here, I don't think you can actually have any life.
It is very
It's
hard.
just very money focused city. Like that even you walk in the street, that it is very hustle and very money focused. Like when we think of San Fran, it is about tech. Like you need to be doing tech. In LA, it is about being a celebrity. In Boston, it's about being the smartest person. But in New York, it is about being the richest person.
Interesting. So, okay. And I know that this is interesting. And I know that you mentioned about the life crisis that people got excited about and interested about. So does it include New York?
It includes New York. It includes many things in my life. Like last year around this time when I left my last company, I thought I was just quitting tech completely. And I was so ready for it. Like I was mentally prepared for that. I never really planned on.
What did you
going
want to
back.
do if not tech?
I don't know. I just had a huge burnout, and I said, okay, I definitely don't want to be doing tech, and I can then find out what I want to be doing. And it is how it happened with me getting into tech as well. Like I was a lawyer, I hated, and I didn't know what to do. But I said, okay, anything will be better than becoming a lawyer. Which is true. Like I obviously very happy like with law, and tech is slightly better than law, but Like last year, I was so ready to completely leave. And then, yeah, I had this sabbatical for a couple of months. And at that point, I was still advising a couple of companies. And when I told them that I actually left and I'm not planning to go back to full-time employment or anything, they started to refer me to other people. And one thing I knew, on September, I had a company that I didn't really want. And like I never really wanted to go back to marketing. I never really wanted to do tech. I never really wanted to have my own company. Up until like this March, that actually made me feel like, okay, I'm happy to be a founder. And it happened after someone tried to acquire my company. And I was like, okay, do I want to be acquired? And then it made me think. I was chatting with Chris Walker, and he asked me a couple of questions. And after that, I was like, no way, I actually love being a founder. Like, I cannot think myself being acquired. But yeah, during this entire phase, during the entire last year, I realized, okay, definitely marketing is not satisfying me, because what I'm realizing is that B2B marketing, like we are not changing the world, like we are not making a difference. And okay, I know that at this point in my life, I won't be a doctor. I know that I'm not going to have a significant breakthrough in my life, but I'm like, okay, I need to find something that will help me because I'm like, it's just okay, so much money in this world in tech, and you can make a lot of money, but what if you want to do something nice, something real? And yeah, it has been an interesting year for me, and I know that I probably will be completely leaving tech in like a couple of years. And I just want to do my PhD. I want to do philosophy, and I want to be a teacher. I genuinely want to be a teacher. But one thing I actually realized a couple of months ago was that it doesn't really need to be black and white. Currently, even though I don't really enjoy what I do, like I'm great at what I do, apparently. Uh, but it doesn't really mean that I like what I do. I just know what I need to be doing. I just understand what needs to be done, and I'm good at it. But yeah, apparently it doesn't really need to be black and white. It can be both. And a couple of weeks ago, I decided to allocate 20% of my time, 20% of the company's time for charities. So like now, 20% of the company time goes for NGOs and charities, in the sense of not like I go and do any physical activity, because anyone can do this. But I was thinking, okay, what I can actually offer that anyone, and not anyone can, is the paid media. So now I'm trying to onboard NGOs that actually spend money on paid media, and I'm just trying to help them as if I help my current clients, but obviously for free, so that it can actually give me some satisfaction in life. And I think it will be the case that I actually help people.
That is so deep. That they oftentimes people who are in tech are thinking, okay, so I'm hustling in this. I want to find meaning in what I'm doing. Because am I optimizing ads or am I doing something else? It's like, what is it that will give me the meaning in life that will make it kind of a difference? That's nice that you found it.
Yeah, like when I was talking with other people, obviously one common answer is that, yeah, when you have children, you know that the meaning will be children, you will work towards them. But I don't have children. I don't know if I'm going to get married at some point. Like it is just, I'm not going to bet on something that might happen in 5 years, in 10 years.
Yeah.
So like, okay, what can I do? Because I genuinely want to make a difference. And now I feel like I'm going to find the meaning in charities.
I love this. I love this. We discussed a very similar topic with Alberto, if you're listening, my colleague who moved from Copenhagen, about like the meaning of working at tech as well. One of the things that we really enjoy is also working and making a difference around the people that you work with, because that help and support and the feeling of belonging in the company is also a nice thing to bring to each other's life, because we gather here for so long time to stay and to build something together. Why don't we just help each other and enjoy this? We can grow the company in the terms that everybody likes as well. So that kind of, at least besides children, that gives the satisfaction of life too. Nice. But tell us about what Roasted does, because people want to know. Obviously, you're good at it, and maybe some people will still want to buy from you for those 2 years that you're going to do.
I think in the simplest term, it is paid media management. But I try to separate myself from an agency and from a freelancer standpoint. And in the sense of, obviously with freelancers, you get a good work from a good freelancer, but also you need to bet on the fact that that freelancer will not go on holiday, that freelancer will not get sick, because if that happens, then basically everything will be messed up during that process for your company. And with agencies, the entire agency model is fundamentally broken. Because when you think of paid media agencies, and if there's a paid media agency that says they are not doing that, please let me know and I will say sorry if it is true. Is that you speak with the founder, you speak with their salesperson, you hear amazing stories, and then they promise you that the best account managers will check your account, the best marketers will check your account. Realistically, junior marketers with like 1-2 years of experience manage your account. Every agency has a playbook and they apply that playbook, and nobody actually puts any effort to understand the company. Every company is unique, every company has a different problem.
Yeah.
I cannot just be like, okay, I have Dream Data now as a client and their pain point is the same as, let's say, Sandozo. No, every company has a different pain point. Now you cannot be like, okay, in the first 3 months, we are going to capture the demand. In the second 3 months, we are going to create a new demand. In the 9 months, we are going to capture more demand. No. First, you got to understand what is wrong with that company. You need to understand what didn't work before. You need to understand what their sales cycle looked like. And this doesn't happen. And they just take over an account, apply their playbooks, and try to get as much time as possible from the company.
Yeah.
In my case, I just do it by myself. I built the playbook for each company, and like I have a team now, and the team is just focusing on doing what I'm trying to do. Like I'm doing the entire execution, and the team makes sure that everything is documented, because I don't really document things. I really work in very loose style. So roasted is like between agents and freelancers, and I'm trying to not call myself an agency.
Okay, so you're running all the ads for your clients, but then you've got some people to help you out to document it, that when you go away eventually, so they have a playbook that they can implement themselves, or what is the idea of moving it further?
Yeah, there's the thing. I don't really want to move forward. Like now the revenue is in a really healthy level, and like there's an interesting thing that I had this scarcity mindset. I had this anxiety when I first end up with this company, that okay, now it is growing, but what if it stops growing? What if clients churn? What if I lose all of my clients? What if I don't deliver results? And Chris Walker really helped me out with that in terms of changing my mindset, in terms of understanding what I really want, what I really don't want. And now I'm in this mindset that like I'm happy with where I'm at in the company, and especially if you're happy and if you start saying no, more opportunities come. Like now I have the same amount of clients that I had in the beginning of the year, but my revenue is like 50% higher. And yeah, I just try to work with people that I vibe with. Like that has been the amazing case. Like now I'm in a position that if I don't have the energy from the first call, if I don't have the vibe from the first call, I'm like, okay, I don't want to work with you. And I think that's a good thing with having a small team, because I don't really care about money. Like I'm not like, okay, if I lose a client, they're not going to get paid, because everyone has even if everyone loses their clients, everyone will still get paid. Like I also want to make them relief about my stance, because obviously if you're taking care of accounts and then there's me firing clients because they're not vibing with, it will harm their income. So like they have that protection. Even if I fire a client, they still get paid. My team still gets paid. But yeah, like now, what is next? I don't know. I'm just enjoying my life. I'm trying to do the work that I like, which is building. Like because that's why I left Cognizant. That's why I left DeepCrow. Really, like at some point you realize that you built everything and you are stuck. Like because at this point there's so much bureaucracy, there's so much things. But having this agency actually helps me, because I can actually split my life into like 10 different parts for each client. And I'm like, okay, I'm building, and I built. Then you are free. And like as soon as I actually got bored with the client, I just said, okay, I will help you hiring. I will train the person, but you don't really need me. You don't really need to pay me anymore, because I don't really enjoy this, because we are all done.
Nice. I'm happy to hear that. That's why we're referring so many of our clients to you as well, because it obviously works. All right, let's dig into the LinkedIn stuff, ads in general, and so on. So the topic of the whole thing is also like, why don't we just chase direct conversions on LinkedIn? I'm in sales and I want leads. And marketing would not deliver them to me saying that, no, 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 let's not gate this. Everything is ungated. Like, let's treat them really nicely and they read everything and let's not convert. But I mean, if there is no gate, if there is no direct conversion, what do I work with then? So tell me, how do you optimize LinkedIn ads without those gates, but that the clients are anyway coming over to sales?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and I will have two answers for this. The first part of this answer is that it's coming from Cognizant. Like at Cognizant, we built this entire perfect demand gen motion. We hit every target, we hit every pipeline target, we hit every revenue target, and we were spending like more than 1 million every month. And everything we were doing was working. But then we realized one thing, and once we realized it was too late, that enterprise actually doesn't really come from demand gen. Enterprise rarely comes to your website and fills that form and converts. And okay, demand gen motion, the entire ungating motion and everything, that's great, and I still recommend this to everyone. But realistically, the chances of an enterprise company, you are running demand gen motion for enterprise and it is completely building an enterprise motion, is not likely.
Interesting.
And that led me thinking, like after Cognizant in my other company, I was trying to build the same structure. And one thing became obvious is that on LinkedIn, our marketing's responsibility should be more about influencing those accounts. And now, like, we don't even need a platform for it. Like LinkedIn Company Dynamics tab actually provides
Nice.
that basically LinkedIn is an expensive channel. Like let's be honest about it.
It
Like
is.
LinkedIn is an expensive channel, and once you actually start generating conversions from LinkedIn, eventually your CFO will be comparing those cost per conversions with Google conversions. And then you end up having the same convo over and over, and you end up having the convo with your CFO being that, okay, we are generating this amount of conversions from LinkedIn, cost per conversion is high, but also we are doing branding there, we're actually reaching, doesn't work. But what I'm trying to build is that we can, as marketeers, as the paid media channel, we can make sure that on LinkedIn, we are reaching out to the right target accounts. We are increasing their engagement rates. Again, we can actually track that now within LinkedIn. We are getting clicks from these accounts. We are actually reaching to the right people from these accounts. But if they are not converting, it doesn't mean that it is the end of the world. It doesn't mean that we just need to be pushing remarketing campaigns to convert them. Rather, marketing needs to be working together with the sales, because now sales can also get that data. And in the ideal world, sales and marketing should be targeting the right accounts, like the same accounts. So sales then will see that, okay, you are targeting like 250 accounts and 20 of them had been showing an engagement in the last 30 days. We are seeing an increase in engagement in the last 7 days. Therefore, okay, sales now needs to be reaching out to them. So it is actually the all bound motion that everyone had been talking about years, but like the way we need to consider LinkedIn should be as an influence channel, not even like a create demand channel, but influence channel. And then sales will need to work together with the marketing teams to make sure that the accounts that are showing engagement will be reached out by sales, will be contacted by sales. And now actually you can even make it easier with tools like our B2B, with Warmly, with Vector, that you can actually identify on contact level, and you can actually understand, okay, this campaign brought this person to the website from this company. And if this person is relevant, if this person is ICP, then it is now,
Yeah. Wow, interesting. So I love this chat because everybody's raving all the time, oh, sales should be working closer with marketing and so on. This is just like, yeah, we're all friends. Let's give each other a hug. But what you're talking about is making that connection really, really close. But can you talk about more tangible stuff that can be done? So you're saying that we're going to measure LinkedIn, but what happens then? So how do you make sure that sales is picking it up and sales received it in a timely manner? And what does marketing do at the same time? If not remarketing, but then what?
So obviously, when we talk about targeting these companies, we cannot just assume that we are targeting these companies with one campaign or like with a couple of creatives. Like we need to build this entire journey. And this journey, obviously, and now I'm assuming that we have an account list. It is a cold account list. They are not showing any intent. It is just an account list that in the beginning of the quarter, we spoke with RevOps, and then we have like 200 account lists, and we are going to reach out to these accounts this quarter. So the overarching theme should be first the category, and I think this is the most missing part in every company, because everyone is assuming that people would know about your product, people will know about your features, or they would be interested about your features, but it is just a problem that people tend to have if you work in a specific company. You automatically assume that everyone knows about your company, everyone knows about your product and everything. But one thing we need to actually understand is that nobody is actually, not only they are aware of your product, but probably they are not even aware of their problem.
Yeah.
And when especially think of the marketing product, MarTech products, every marketing product has one thing: we are going to make your paid more efficient. We are going to make your marketing more efficient. Like, okay, completely different products. But when we think about Dream Data, Sandoza, School, we can all assume that we are actually making marketing more efficient.
Same message.
Yeah. So actually, that pain point is actually should be in the middle of the funnel. First, it should be problem. So like, if we are talking about Dream Data, the problem would be: are you suffering from understanding the return on investment of your paid media? With Sandoza, it was like there's a gift card inflation, or like, because everyone is selling gift cards, like, or like with Pavilion, the problem is like it gets lonely at the top, and you need people like you. Problem. It is not about your company. First, it is about them. It is about the problem that they are having, because you know that these people are having a problem, but these people might not be aware of their problem. You just need to remind them, that you just need to show them that, okay, you have a problem. Then the product comes into place. And once product comes into place, it is like, okay, now that you know your problem, this is how we are going to solve your problem. Let's again go with the Dream Data example. We have 5 features. This is like 5 features of Dream Data, and let's push all of them. So how these product features get engagement? Do we see any features get more engagement? Do we see some features get less engagement? If we see that 2 product features get more engagement, this means that, okay, content marketing should be focusing on these 2 features this quarter. Event marketing should be focusing on these 2 features this quarter. And then we need to just double down on our spend, double down our effort, resources in these 2 features for this quarter, because this is getting engagement. And in this place, then sales comes into place, not as a reaching to these people, but about, okay, now let's monitor how these accounts are moving forward after they engage with these features. And once they engage with these features, the next step should be, okay, now you know what your problem is. Now you know how we can help you. Now you need to understand how we help others. So Dream Data helps Sandoz achieve this. Dream Data helps this company achieve this. And then at that point, once they engage with that ad, once they're actually engaging with the ad and coming to the website using high intent website pages, then sales should come into place, knowing that these people already are now aware of their problem, they're aware of the product features, and they already seen customer success stories about how Dream Data help other people. But it needs to be a multi-threaded with multi different levels.
So you would not send sales after the campaigns that showed engagement for just category on the top?
No.
Yeah.
Because they are now aware of the problem.
Yeah.
But we cannot just assume that they'll get an email from Dream Data and be like, oh my God, please let's have a book a demo call. Right.
Yeah, much better quality for sales as well. But it's also problematic for sales because, somebody's showing intent. Let me just reach out.
Yeah, exactly. And then this builds the disconnect between sales and marketing, because if they actually start the sales journey from the top, and if they don't convert, then sales will be like, okay, we are tracking this engagement, but they are not converting. Then we don't trust this. We need to find their own accounts. So in order to actually prevent this disconnect between sales and marketing, okay, the volume will be lower in the middle of the funnel.
Correct.
But the accuracy will be higher, and the response rate will definitely be higher.
Nice. By the way, anybody who's listening to us, you're very welcome to ask questions as well. So I can see that Monica is here, Labas Monica. I can see Leo is here. So whoever would like to ask any questions, you're welcome to pop in as well, because that can be very tactical, what you would like to talk with Canberk about, or it can be high level as well. Because I've got many questions before we finish off about cats. So again, I'm in sales. You build all this beautiful motion, and the people are dripping in good quality. And then marketing starts to talk about brand. How do you as a marketer make sure that brand equals revenue? not just for the CFO, but also for sales, because we're spending money.
Mhm.
So where should we put that in? Why should we do that in brand?
That's a hard question. Uh, I think brand here needs to be positioned as a component of demand generation. And I know that there are so many people on LinkedIn that they think brand is like the ultimate god and it should be overarching everything. Okay, I like brand. Everyone likes brand. Everyone knows the importance of brand. But we cannot just say that brand and demand gen are two different things. Brand should be a component of demand generation. And I believe brand should especially be like I think brand and category is very similar things because when you build the category problem side, you actually build on that brand that you have, and then when you actually start talking about the product, it is also your brand. Your entire dimension strategy is your brand. But one thing we did with Sandozo in order to show the impact of brand is that uh, once we start LinkedIn campaigns, we cannot really say that, okay, we are having all of this demand gen motion, and in a month, we are going to see conversions, we are going to
You don't
see
know. Yeah.
more pipeline. But what we can easily see is that increase in search volumes for Sandoz brand, increase in search volumes for automated gifting platform. And actually, if you look at Google Trends, if you look at Sandoz, if you search in the last 12 months, and you can see it. Like we started the demand gen motion around like early November, and we can see how it has been upticking. And now we are spending so much money in the brand campaign on Google, not because we are actually, it is because some other companies are bidding against the brand. So I'm just trying to protect, but we are spending so much money because there's so much search. And although these people could have converted even without a brand campaign on Google, again, we have to protect the brand against competitors. But it is actually showing that if we are spending more money on brand, if we are spending more conversion, if we are generating more conversions from brand, now more people are searching for Sandoz. And it is just because the brand campaigns that we started in November.
Yeah.
Or like with another client, dream data customer, Money Penny, the thing we found was that, okay, let's run some campaigns on YouTube. And we know that we cannot really expect conversions from YouTube, but what we can see, and their data showed that there's like 4 months delay, but they have run this experiment like for 12 months in different intervals for like 2 weeks on YouTube, then stop, and then 2 weeks on YouTube, then stop. They see that once they start campaigns on YouTube, after 4 months, they see this weird increase in organic traffic. But we cannot really just say that, okay, brand campaigns will show their impact in 4 months. Every company is a different audience, every company is a different ICP, but there are small indicators that we need to be thinking about. And then we also need to be thinking about this brand as in like insurance that will make sure that your company will be remembered in a way that you want. Because again, when we think of people on LinkedIn, okay, a company might have a good brand, but if their C-levels or like founders don't have that good brand, it ruins the company reputation. So having the overarching company branding actually will help you to just cover any potential negative branding that your employees have as well.
Nice. I love that. I love that. And if we speak about LinkedIn ads or in general LinkedIn, it can be organic because now you mentioned like C-level posting and so on. So how can marketing support sales with LinkedIn?
Yeah, I think the easiest way, again, the alignment on the accounts, like who do we want to be reaching out? Like, yeah, in the ideal world, I agree that marketing shouldn't be restricted by an account list because we need to be penetrating our entire target addressable market. Again, we can talk about 95% rule for days. Therefore, yeah, we shouldn't be really restricted with the account, but also we need to be able to allocate some portion of the budget for specific accounts. And because, yeah, again, in the ideal world, if we just reach through the entire target addressable market, we can work with sales to understand that these accounts are being handed over to sales when they are ready.
Yeah.
But I think the real thing is that if every month, every quarter, marketing and sales aligns on a specific amount of accounts that they are going to be reaching out at the same time. However, what I do with my accounts is that first marketing starts like for 2 weeks, so that we make sure that these accounts start seeing the campaigns before sales starts reaching out. But then basically marketing can support sales in a way that, okay, we were going to target this amount of accounts this quarter. We started 2 weeks ago. After 2 weeks, these are the engagement levels that we are seeing in these accounts. And let's assume that each salesperson gets like 20 accounts per month. Then by looking at the engagement data, the salespeople will know, okay, I have like 5 accounts right now that I will be focusing. But at the same time, since those accounts are showing engagement, marketing will exclude those accounts from the initial campaign. And then there will be 15 accounts left. And then there will be 5 accounts showing engagement from 15. But salesperson will be focusing on the first 5 accounts that week. And the next week, they will be getting the next 5. And once they got the second batch of the 5 accounts, then in the third week, marketing will be excluding that 5 accounts from the initial targeting, and they'll be focusing on 10 accounts, while sales is working on the second batch. And after the third week, marketing will be handing off the 5 top accounts to sales.
Yeah.
So this is the process. This is the process I'm trying to build with every company that I'm working with.
This is amazing, because this also saves marketing ROI for not just spending money on everything, but also sales works really targeted. How would you great word. How would you put it into operation? Because it sounds like it is well orchestrated, but tell me a bit about tools for making this work really.
So in terms of the anonymization part, I'm either obviously clients are using, but they are either using Cray or not Cray, Warmly and our B2B.
Okay.
But in terms of the understanding, automating the list, I'm just using my own AI agent operator.
Okay.
And it's just looking at the accounts that are showing engagement. It goes to LinkedIn, gets the list of the accounts, then updates the list on spreadsheet. That spreadsheet is also being shared by sales. And then every week it automatically updates the sheet by creating new tab.
Okay, so then sales would pick up those accounts from the sheet itself. Okay.
But the good thing about now being an outsider is that you don't have to deal with it. You know that it is going to be their RevOps problem. So like if it is not being picked up by sales, normally in my previous companies, I would just freak out. I would like, okay, why don't you reach out?
Yeah.
But now I'm like, okay, I'm just an outsider. I help you to build the process.
Yeah.
But it's your job to make sure that sales follows it.
Have you seen it working well? The process like executed well at some of them?
I have only seen one company that cannot execute this. In my clients, all of them are executing really well. There's only one kind I'm trying my best, but yeah. Apart from
is that a sales or marketing problem? Or operational?
I think, all of it.
Yeah. Because I would imagine, I mean, sales, they're just running their own thing and say, yeah, marketing, you do your thing. And then there are 3 accounts or 5 accounts reach out to, and then we're busy doing something else. It's a little bit like event stuff and so on, that how we would do it. So I was expecting you to blame sales, but thank you for not doing that.
No, I think like all you need in a company is one person, like one hero, let's say. Like all companies need one Batman. Like at Deep Crow, it was my CMO, for example. Like she would make things happen. Like if you have one person in the executive team that believes in what you are doing, then they make it happen.
Nice.
So like if it doesn't happen, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a sales problem. It means that that company doesn't have that hero in the company.
Yeah, because somebody has to look into the list and say, sales, remember, do this. And you have to do that every day for it to happen. It's normal, it's humans. You spoke a bit about the whole funnel, how to create that type of emotion, but you also speak about the right content for the right accounts at the right time. And how does this work?
Okay, so this is actually one of my huge struggles, especially when I take over new accounts. Because like what I'm observing is that there are 2 types of companies. Either it is paid-led creative or creative-led paid. And if it is the second, it's a huge problem. Because in these companies, what I see is that these companies are running campaigns for the sake of running campaigns. Like they get new creatives from the product marketing team saying, oh, we are having a new product launch, let's promote this. Oh, we are now running this event, let's promote this. Oh, we have a new content, let's promote this. There's no strategy behind, there's no why behind. And changing this mindset is not impossible, but it takes so much time and so much of my peace, internal peace. But it can be changed. However, if it is a creative-led company, you need to make them understand that paid needs to be guiding the entire marketing with the data. Because what we need to be understanding when we run a content campaign, once we run content campaign, is that we need to have different types of content, and we need to have different types of teams, different types of branding for each stage. Like again, if we start with the category, it needs to be very high level, very simple. It needs to be just talking about the product. But one thing I'm realizing is that, or like even with social proof campaigns, like it just needs to be very straight. Like dream that have Sandoz increase their close won rate by 11%. Perfect, 11%. We are going to focus on 11%. Then we are going to give the details in the website. But once this is being done by content teams, brand teams, product marketing teams, it just gets very full of irrelevant data. They want to show everything. And like people on, not even marketers, people on LinkedIn are immune to seeing ads. Like you are not going to read a ad description this long. Like, come on, let's simplify. But they just tend to talk about everything they want, everything they have, as if they have been waiting for this exact moment for their entire life. No, like the social proof content should be guided by paid. The entire product content should be guided by paid. Okay, your product can have 20 different features, but we need to pick our battles. Like which feature will bring us more pipeline, or like we can talk about I don't know, Dream Data Activation Hub for hours. But do we talk about 20 different things that Activation Hub can do, or we can we talk about one thing that it does perfectly?
Yeah.
And yeah, like the marketing teams tend to talk about everything, which is not the case. Like everything should be talked in the sales calls. Marketing just needs to guide this journey with the most important bits by being as simple as possible. Like, okay, if you are running a content campaign about, for example, again, this is what we are doing with Sandoz. There's one campaign about ABM and how you can upgrade your ABM with gifting. Okay, we can talk about the fundamentals of ABM for hours only. I can write a content like this big, but nobody will read it. So the content says, okay, understand ABM, better, blah, 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 click. And if they click, then there's a website content. And because you know that if they click, they are showing an intent, they are showing an engagement to read that content. But up until we understand that intent, we got to be as simple as possible. And in order to be simple, we need to look at the paid data. Because again, if you spend your life writing about product marketing materials, if you spend your life building new events, you cannot really be like, okay, I'm just going to cut the entire things that I wrote this week, and I'm just going to create one sentence out of it. You can't really do that. Therefore, the paid marketing's role should be about guiding the entire marketing motion. And I might be biased because I'm again coming from paid background, but otherwise it's like scientific node data, full of scientific node data.
This is the first time I hear somebody say that out loud besides our CMO. It's funny because usually like marketing, as you're saying, like mad scientists, it's like, oh, we're going to do a little bit of branding, a little bit of paid, and we're like, get into the data and get that done.
Yeah, because it is not a rocket science, and I feel like marketers tend to overcomplicate things.
Yeah.
And I don't really say this a lot, but I've been saying this a lot lately, is that unfortunately there is no barrier to entry for marketing. Anyone can be a marketer, especially anyone can be a performance marketer. Like unfortunately, being a performance marketer is really easy. And because of that, they don't really understand, most of the marketers don't really understand the big picture. They don't really understand the entire company strategy. So they are just trying to overcomplicate. They are not doing this intentionally. They are overcomplicating things because they don't understand the actual big picture. And like when you think about it, you wouldn't hire a CFO to your company if they didn't really have credentials for finance. But you actually hire a marketer without any credentials to manage your 1 million paid media budget. And that's horrible. That's why it is completely disconnected. The entire marketing motion is broken, and that's why I'm having this existential crisis. Because with every company, and I had this value proposition. If you go on my website, I say, if you don't see a better return on spend in the first 60 days, I will give entire money back. It's because it's just bonkers in the sense of,
it still doesn't work. Sorry.
It's just bonkers because every company, every client that I'm taking over, I see the same things. And it is not like I see things that people cannot see. because they don't care, they don't actually pay attention, they don't understand.
This is interesting. Yeah, it's a strong claim, and I absolutely agree. There are so many people who think that they know marketing as well. Like you hear it on LinkedIn, and everybody has a point of view, and then like to make sense of it all, you could become a mad scientist and become a marketer and at a company and start managing budget from your LinkedIn best practices.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
And like, since marketing has always been considered as a soft skill, just like I said, everyone has an idea. And therefore, people don't really respect marketeers in the executive calls. Like at Cognizant, when my CMO went on maternity leave, I ended up going to Barcelona for company offsite, for executive offsite. And I was in this table with all of the C-levels and me and Liam from marketing, Liam B. And the chief HR officer was asking, oh, have you considered running a white paper campaigns? No shit, I have never considered that. What a great idea. Have you considered training your own people so that they don't do weird stuff in the HR? No, you didn't. I cannot really say this to a HR person because like I can't really go to finance person and be like, oh, have you considered decreasing the salary of people so that we can actually don't burn that amount of money? But then HR finds that option to themselves, like, oh, have you considered running a white paper campaign? No, we haven't. Thank you for the great idea.
That's okay. So now, guys, again, if you've got questions, bring it on because I still have.
As
the
you
full
can
list.
see, I have no filters, so please bring it on.
Like, even if you have HR questions, or have you considered a white paper, or maybe when does a white paper work? I'm not going to ask that if you want to ask it, but go ahead and ask anything that you'd like. Okay, I want to ask about LinkedIn organic that brings in sales pipeline. So, and it's not just sales pipeline, but also how to match it in outbound. Because I know your client Sendoso does a good job at this, and a lot of companies struggle to figure out how can this actually work. Like likes, engagements, comments. How do I make sense of this so it is structured, so it's something sales can work with?
Structure with organic content.
I know there is no structure, but if you were to pick up like simple stuff that salespeople can implement, because it's hard.
Yeah. So this has been a huge problem since Cognizant. Like Cognizant was one of the first companies doing organic thought leadership content, and like at that point, obviously the answer was self-report attribution. Because like we were actually seeing in the numbers that people were saying, oh, I've been reading Alice's post, I've been reading Canberk's post. Gives an indicator, but again, it is not a structure. But now, for example, one of my companies is using Common Room, and it has actually been doing an amazing job in the sense of Common Room is bringing the organic data to the platform, it is bringing the ad data to the platform, and then their sales team basically filter out their ICP by looking at, okay, if this ICP has been engaging with organic content, if this ICP has been engaging with the paid content, then what we did was to run an experiment to understand if organic content is actually showing that kind of impact on the sales funnel. What we did was that sales focused on the first batch was the people who had been engaging with paid and organic content together. The second batch was the people who had been just engaging with paid content. The third batch was the people who had been just engaging with organic content. Obviously, as you can imagine, the first batch won in terms of meeting book rate. Like if they are both engaging with paid and organic, the likeness of from cold call to meeting booked was the highest. But in the second one, like the second place, was actually not the people who had been engaging with paid. It was the people who had been engaging with organic. So this is the impact of organic. Like we cannot really say that if you post 3 times a day, if you post 5 times a day, you are going to bring 10 more meetings every week. But we can say that if you cold call people who had been engaging, if you cold call your ICP who had been engaging with your company's organic content, not employees' organic content, actually the likeness of you booking a meeting is higher than calling people who have been engaging with your paid content. And again, it brings us to the first law of marketing: people buy from people.
So to confirm, the posts about like the organic posts and engagement is on the people's posts, not the company's post that you would be looking into.
I don't think company was like Yeah, I think the last company who made it work was Gong,
Uh-huh.
like 5 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And now, like LinkedIn is not prioritizing company posts; they're
No.
prioritizing the personal posts. Companies are actually getting engagement at all.
No.
Yeah, I think the last company who did it well was Gong.
Interesting. One thing about the company posts that I have noticed, I'm now not sure if you're noticing the same, now when LinkedIn is releasing and pushing video so much more, when you look into the video feed, try to do that. I did an experiment with a couple of people. When you scroll the videos, every third video is a company video.
Is it?
Yeah, at least on my feed
Huh.
and a couple of colleagues that we have done that on. And that made me think, are they then prioritizing company videos for that kind of scrolling? Not sure.
Do you even use the video feed at all? I never used it.
Only because I do videos and I'm
Yeah.
interested in what's in it. but I'm not sure how users who don't do as much video would be using it because I'm curious just
Never
to
use it.
test it.
Like I updated my
Uh-huh.
LinkedIn app months ago. I said, "Oh, there's a new tab." I
Yeah.
searched it. I was, it's horrible, and I just never went back.
Yeah. They're trying new stuff as well. Like they do the featured stuff now. Now you can scroll to the side and up and then like in the various. We'll see what happens, but hopefully they would prioritize company pages as well to perform in that way. But usually they're freaking boring.
Yeah, I think.
I get it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like B2B marketing is boring because again,
Yeah.
nobody really wants to try something else because trying something else means you are taking a risk.
Mm-hmm.
If it works, perfect, you are here. But probably you have like 2-3% chance to make it work. If it doesn't work, then you are going to be the CMO, you are going to be the VP marketing that made the horrible decision.
Exactly.
Like
exactly.
Again, for me, I always go for unhinged stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but unfortunately with B2B marketers, it's just they don't want to take that risk.
No, and I get it. I mean, let's continue on that path, and then you can get your employees to post for that as well. All right. So, talk to me about tools. You mentioned a couple of them for sales and marketing alignment, for intent. So, to get your ads to work, especially for LinkedIn, you meant, and I think that the followers would also like to hear the current LinkedIn tools to measure it and what's beyond that. Tell me about how your clients are using all this.
Yeah, I feel like there's this graph like that, and in the beginning there's a crying guy, and then there's a guy with like, okay, you need to do that, you need to do that, you need to do that, and then there's a guy who made peace with it. Like in the beginning of my career, I was like, okay, I don't need tools, and I was like, okay, we can just do marketing. Then in the middle, it was like, okay, we need so many tools, we need metadata, we need I don't know, primer, we need everything. And then I'm like, okay, you can just do marketing with a couple of good tools that work.
Mm-hmm.
And what I do, and probably if you are watching this, Adam, love you, Fiddler. Like, especially if a company doesn't have budget. Like it just shows the impact of LinkedIn. If a company just started
Nice.
LinkedIn, or like if a company first wants to understand impact of LinkedIn, Fiddler is just very simple, connects to your CRM, and then you can just justify the spend. And then you're like, okay, LinkedIn influenced this amount of deals, then we need to increase the budget for LinkedIn. And then once you actually have that buy-in, then it's a vision platform.
Nice.
But I think Fiddler is just that great product
Nice.
that you don't really spend thousands of dollars. You can just spend the money on LinkedIn. You can, okay, this spent, this total influence deal, perfect. Go to CFO, blah, blah, blah. And then you can actually scale from that.
Yeah.
So Fiddler is a great tool for me to understand the impact of marketing and just prove that internally right away when I start. The second thing is, here I think not most marketers use that. Microsoft Clarity is free, and you just connect it to your website. It is like Google. It is like Microsoft's own Google Analytics. It is not like analytics platform. It is more like website recording platform that you can also connect to your GA. You can also connect to your Google Ads. You can connect to your Bing. It basically records all of your website sessions, and you can look at Google campaigns. You can look at Bing campaigns to see, okay, what are the bounce points? What are the breaking points on the website? Where you need to be changing? What you need to be doing?
Mm-hmm.
Landing page optimization is scale. So Clarity, again, free. Fiddler, obviously, if they have budget, then I go to the attribution platform. But I go to the attribution platform once I actually have confidence that, okay, they have budget and they are spending.
Right.
If they have budget also, I either go with Common Room. Again, if they have budget. And I get to see Key Play recently. I get to play with Key Play.
First time I hear it.
It's so good.
Nice.
Keyplay.io, I think. Like especially in industries that you cannot really target with LinkedIn. For example, I have an account that they are targeting both B2B software companies, but also they are targeting mobile apps that have subscription programs that you cannot really find these companies on LinkedIn, but Keeplay actually really helps to find those companies. I'm playing a lot with user gems lately, and not only job changes, but it is also helping me to target the entire buying committee at scale, which has been really helpful. Let me see. I think that's about it. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you for that. And if you have questions about those tools, reach out to Canberk also after the session. Yeah, and if we were to start wrapping this up, can you tell me what kind of pitfalls or mistakes do you often see when you start working with your clients that they do with their LinkedIn ads?
There's no strategy. Like everyone wants to do everything at once, and I just try to tell them, calm down. Like, calm down. You don't need to be doing YouTube, Bing, LinkedIn, Google, Reddit all together. Calm down. First, we need to have our main channel. We need to make the main channel work. In most cases, it is going to be LinkedIn and Google. Once we are sure that these channels are performing well, then we are going to expand. So calm down. The second, we cannot just run everything. Like I know that, I don't know, like 5 years ago, one of your clients said an amazing thing, then you wrote this content that the last download was like 5 years ago. We don't need to do that. Or like, yeah, your boomer uncle reviewed you on G2, so you want to run a social proof campaign for the G2 code. No. Let's first build the strategy. Like, what do we want to achieve? And that's what I ask my clients. Okay, tell me your ideal first 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days. And then based on what they envision, I'm like, okay, so do you think if we do that, does this align with what you want to achieve in 90 days? And in most of the cases, the answer is no. So like, I basically tell them, okay, we are building the strategy. You got to trust me, but we cannot just be running everything for the sake of running. Like, everything we are running needs to align with what you want to achieve. Like, you might be measured by number of MQLs, then we are going to be like, okay, if we do that, it matches with the number. Does it match with the number of MQLs? If we do that, does it match with the pipeline goal? So building the overarching strategy and making sure that everything has an answer. You can ask why and you can get an answer.
Right.
So yeah, I think these two things.
And how long time do they have to wait to start seeing results? Because if they now calm down, then they will get very impatient.
No, the thing is, obviously what I realized is that nobody comes to me because they're happy with the current structure. I'm a wartime person. Like, they come to me because they're desperate. And the thing is, just like I mentioned, most of the marketers actually do such a horrible job that even when I start with small things, it is not like I say, okay, we need to wait for 3 months, we need to build everything. No, we can do both things at the same time. One thing is to make sure that we collect the low-hanging fruits, we make what we have work. At the same time, we build the strategy, but it can both happen at the same time.
Yeah.
So they still get their numbers. And that's why, like, 60 days better return on investment. That there's the results in the first 30 days in most of the cases.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that once we do that, we don't really focus on big picture. Or like, if we focus on big picture, it doesn't mean that we don't focus on the low-hanging fruits.
Love it. Love it.
And like, if an agency tells you that you need 6 months to see the results, run.
This is the learning of the day. And now the most important part of this show, actually. So why cats, not dogs?
They're easy. Like, yeah, that's a good question. I always thought I was a dog guy. I was a dog person. And I didn't really want to get a cat. Like, my cat found me. Like, I was in uni. I went to take off the garbage. I opened the rubbish bin. Bernie, my bigger cat, was in the rubbish bin. He was like this big. He was trying to get out. I took him out. He followed me to my apartment. He followed me to my flat. He followed me to my room, and he never left.
So actually, he chose you.
Yeah,
You didn't choose him.
He chose me. So like, I was not a cat person, and he chose me. And like, now I'm like, okay, I think I like not having unconditional love, because like, I know if he doesn't want me, he doesn't want me, and it's a good feeling, because when he hugs me, I'm like, okay, he actually wants me to hug him.
That's, what are the names of your cats?
Bernie and Sanders.
Oh, okay, nice. All right, everybody in the audience, thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much for visiting us as well,
Thank you so
Canberk.
much for having me.
Thanks, guys. See ya.